squeezing my hands together, like so. And there it is. Hello. Nice to meet you. This place was a little bit hard to find, but I'm glad I finally did. I have been informed by my superiors that you have an ailing axolotl that requires just a bit of chiropractic care. Is that correct? All right. Well, I'm glad I'm in the right place then. I don't like to make mistakes on approaching residences that are not expecting me, if you know what I mean. So I'm happy to know that I have stumbled upon the right abode. So let's go ahead and get everything signed in here. Can you just confirm your name, please? Okay. Is that with an H? All right. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure that I made an accurate statement here. And what is the exact nature of your axolotl's ailment? Okay, so some discomfort around the spine area. Now, is that walking or while swimming or both? Okay, mostly walking. In the water or on land? Terrestrial travel? Terrestrial. Okay, that does narrow it down just a bit. Kind of gives me an idea of where to start. All right, and how long have these symptoms been presenting themselves? All right, for about 5 or 6 days. We'll call it 6 just to err on the side of caution. Okay, and what subspecies of axolotl are we treating today? Okay, the pink axolotl. Very well. Alright, so we have a pink axolotl, pain and discomfort around the spinal area, mostly during terrestrial travel, and 5 or 6 days for length. Alright, everything sound good? Perfect. Well, I will go ahead and get my supplies ready. If you want to go ahead and bring your axolotl out and get it comfortable and just acclimated to the area here, the more relaxed it is, the better. I do have with me some specialty gloves that I like to keep with me in case I do have to treat an axolotl like this evening. These are some textured gloves. The axolotl skin can be quite slippery at times, especially if they've recently emerged from the water. So these gloves will just help me get a little bit of a grip. You can hear that texture there. It just helps maintain an accurate hand placement during adjustments. You don't want any slipping off the hands or anything like that. It can really cause some unintended results with the chiropractic adjustment treatments. So I have these, and I'll go ahead and get my table set up and we can get started. How does that sound? All right, well, allow me just a moment. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, well, you have a really well looked after axolotl here, I must say, but the first thing that I'm going to do before I begin any treatment is just to apply my textured gloves, just so that I ensure that your axolotl receives the care that it deserves. So, just bear with me just a moment while I apply the gloves quickly. most difficult of adjustments with ease. So, let's go ahead and just warm them up just a bit. Sometimes I find that squeezing my hands together, like so, can warm up the textured surface ever so slightly to ensure that it's not such a shock to your axolotl skin. Sometimes I even like to rub them together like so. Alright, let's go ahead and prepare the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm just going to gently massage the spinal fin here before we begin our first adjustment. It just gets some blood flow to the area and can prepare the area for adjustment. Axolotls usually find it quite relaxing. Alright, I'm going to begin with just a simple dual thumb technique. I'm going to apply ever so gentle pressure forward along either side of the axolotl's spinal vertebrae. The vertebrae in the axolotl are very small and delicate, so we have to make sure that we have accurate placement and firm pressure. Alright, I'm just going to gently lift your axolotl into my hands so that I have a good placement on either side of those vertebrae. Alright, we're just going to palpate that area a bit. And 3, 2, 1. And we're going to work our way down slowly. 3, 2, 1. And just like so. 3, 2, 1. And working our way down the spine ever so gently. 3, 2, 1. And working our way down. 3, 2, 1. And now back up. 3, 2, 1. And just working our way up. 3, 2, 1. And back to the beginning. 3, 2, 1. And we're just going to gently place your axolotl back in the neutral position. And we're going to assess that area that we worked on just to see how it's feeling and if it's responding to the treatment. Like I said, you have to be really delicate with the adjustments and the movements when treating axolotl, or it can become quite the emergency, which we don't want to cause. Alright, so I'm going to now switch my approach. I'm going to keep one supportive hand on this side of the spinal fin here, and I'm going to put a bit of pressure in the opposite direction, and we're going to adjust that spine laterally. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and palpate it out. And when I palpate an axolotl after an adjustment, I do a bit of kneading, like so, almost placing my my 3 fingers and my thumb together, and just kneading into that tissue gently, like so. Very pinpointed onto the area. Alright, next, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to knead that area. Your axolotl is doing fantastic. Next, there we are. 3, 2, 1. And just work that tissue there. That way it relaxes after the adjustment. And now we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to support the right side of your axolotl's body, and we're going to adjust laterally in this direction. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and perfect. And we're just gently and ever so slightly massaging that area. Next, 3, 2, 1, and just making sure that we take our time and ensure that your axolotl is feeling better along the way. 3, 2, 1, and perfect. Alright, so once again we're just going to check along that spine where that pain has been emanating from. It's feeling like a lot of that tension and inflammation has begun to subside, so I think we can work our way to some of the other areas that emanate into that spinal cord, like the neck. So when adjusting an axolotl's neck, I like to place my supportive hand right at the crest of the skull and ever so slightly lift the chin of that axolotl, like so, ensuring that I don't disrupt any of the other anatomy. Alright, and 3, 2, 1, and a gentle adjustment. 3, 2, 1, and ever so slightly return the head to a neutral position. 3, 2, 1, and once more, just massaging the area that we adjusted just a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and check that range of motion. That's a lot better. Sometimes it's difficult to work on creatures this small, but we are professionals after all. So now we're going to adjust the head laterally now. So I will be ever so slightly pressing in the opposite direction of my support hand. Alright, 3, 2, 1, and massage that area. Once again, 3, 2, 1, and there we are. 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm going to switch sides now. Going to support with this hand, and we're going to press with this hand. Alright, 3, 2, 1. You can tell that your axolotl is really enjoying the treatment. 3, 2, 1. Usually, the creature is difficult to keep still and focused during the treatment, but your axolotl has barely moved, so that's a great sign. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Now let's just see if everything checks out and is in good order here before we move on from the head. That looks good. Good. Sometimes these areas can also carry inflammation and stress, so it's important to address them. The last thing that I'm going to do is just a brief and slight adjustment on all 4 of the limbs. We're just going to be pulling slightly away from the body, from the distal end of the foot, like so. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. Back leg, 3, 2, 1, and this just helps alleviate a bit of tension in those joints. 3, 2, 1. And last leg. 3, 2, 1. Alright, just a few quick ones here. Perfect. Okay. And now the last. We just have a quick adjustment on the tail. Alright. We're just going to go side to side laterally quickly. 3, 2, 1. And still a bit tense. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Alright, that's feeling much better. Let me just check a few more areas. you otherwise, so feel free and don't hesitate to call if there are any symptoms that you notice that we treated today, or maybe new symptoms. Okay. Alright, as for the rest of the day, try to make sure that your axolotl remains carefree and as still as possible, and just has the opportunity to relax. Try to keep swimming at a minimum. Underwater crawls are fine, but also let's try to avoid terrestrial travel for the rest of the day if possible, and evaluate how its body is reacting to the treatments in the morning. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and add to my notes that we did have a successful treatment today. Treated an axolotl as listed above with resounding success. Alright, follow-up appointment as needed. Okay, we will, of course, our office will bill you accordingly, and that will just be sent here to your residence, so no need to pay here or upfront or anything like that. Okay, well, thank you so much for using our chiropractic services. I hope you and your axolotl have a great rest of your evening. Alright,